Alrighty, welcome back into the Icebacks, where after the end of this Valentine's Day competition, the Stars fall 3-1 to the Sioux City Musketeers, as I'm now joined by head coach of the Stars, Cody Cupp. And of course, Coach, tonight, not the best of nights. Just seemed like there was a slow start there to both the first and second period, and just seemed to get away from there. What did you see out there tonight that really just didn't allow your team to get going?
Yeah, I would say it was a slow start or a fast start for them. And that first goal is pretty representative of our play tonight. It was one of the main focuses of our pre-scout. They're going to push 3 forwards high in the neutral zone, try to play into one of those speeds. We just got to keep ourselves on the defensive side of the puck. First shift of the game. We get caught puck focused and sleeping, and they bypass us for the first goal. And honestly, we weren't a lot better from there on out. It was it's frustrating to remind a group that they have something to play for, and that their effort and their ability to work and compete is important. We spend a lot of time talking about those things. We spend too much time talking about response, and when you're talking about response every week, what it means is you're having a lot of off nights, and our mental performance tonight was unacceptable.
No, it's again something we've talked about in the past, but it seems like these first games of the weekend seem to be following a similar pattern. I mean, you were talking about how when we last spoke after a game, how there was some positives in terms of the culture that was built in that Saturday game back in Youngstown. How do you get that started again here? Again, you kind of have an interesting schedule this week, and that tomorrow's a travel day and not a game on a Friday. But what do you look for to just try to restart that process in terms of getting back to some of those positives?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the frustrating side of it is talking about restarting the process. We take a step forward, and then we take a step backward, and we take a step forward, and we take a step backwards. And, I think it's that's where the frustration lies. And, the 3 goals that they scored tonight, they were self-inflicted 100%. And, we had to work for ours. And so if we don't beat ourselves tonight, it's 1-0. It's as simple as that. And I guess we're talking about response again. I expect us to have a response on Saturday, and it doesn't matter if you're a guy that's coming back or you're a guy that's going to college. The effort that we put forth tonight, and our conversation after the game was very direct. That this, if we've accepted something, then shame on us as a group. And like I said, I don't care if you're going to college or you're coming back. You have something to prove, because this idea of, well, it'll just be better next year is ridiculous. And the people that live their life like that, like it's going to be better next year or it'll be better tomorrow, those tomorrows and those next years don't usually end up coming. We have to be making positive strides on a daily basis towards our goals. And if we're not, and we're losing days and we're wasting days, it's we're going to be talking about response and effort and those things that are all within our control for far longer than we should.
And then there's 2 players tonight that, contributed in a way, at least statistically, that shows some positives in terms of Brock Bremer getting on the score sheet there and finishing on a drive to the net. And then Samuel Halavai, making about 40 saves tonight. Just trying to look at some of the positives tonight. I know there's not a whole lot to pick from, but what did you like about their game tonight? And just in terms of on the tail end, it seemed like they were finishing a little bit on a higher note than they had started.
Yeah, I mean, there were guys that had decent performances, and without going back and watching through the video, then it's right now my focus is simply on our effort as a group and the consistency as a whole, or lack of consistency as a whole. So I don't want to start naming names of guys that were good or poor. I thought there were guys, at least my initial reaction is there were guys that had decent nights, but there were too many passengers, and more so mental passengers than physical passengers. And you can work your butt off, but if there's not a purpose to what you're doing, if you're not a 5-man connected group that is all on the same page, then it's tough. And I think at times tonight we were able to sustain some offense. We had 5 guys working, and at times we killed our own ability to play on offense, or we allowed them easy transition. And to me, that's just mental. When the answers are given to you in the pre-scout, when you talk about 2 or 3 things all week long, and those are the things that we aren't good at, it's a tough one to swallow.
All right, Coach, as always, we appreciate the time here. We'll talk to you on Saturday.
All right, thank you.